So I just want to give a short introduction to Jackie. She is one of the most inspiring and funny women that I know. She's a dynamic acupuncturist and health coach. She's a true expert in her field, specializing in trauma and menopause, and has an unwavering passion for helping women overcome challenges and transform their health and well-being. With years of experience under her belt, Jackie brings a wealth of knowledge, expertise, and compassion to her practice and has helped countless women achieve optimal health through her unique approach to acupuncture and women's health coaching. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Jackie. Welcome, Jackie. Thanks so much for taking the time to chat to us today.
You're very welcome. So I'm basically going to talk about menopause, nutrition, lifestyle, how we can take back our power and support ourselves through nutrition and lifestyle. I feel very much with menopause, we've had our power taken away from us a little bit. I know we've got Davina, and I know we've got other people coming in now and supporting us, but that's only been the last few years. When I went through the menopause, which was literally only 6 years ago, that sort of support wasn't about, and we were fighting to get heard. And one of the things that I don't think is being fought for hard enough is the natural way we can help ourselves through menopause. All I see is this fight for getting HRT from the doctors. And I'm not against HRT, and I'll talk to you later about HRT because I do take it. So just because I'm somebody who works with natural remedies doesn't mean I'm against some help if we need it. But what I will say is we really need to support ourselves through nutrition. It's far more important, and healthy lifestyle. What I'm going to talk about is, obviously there's the introduction, what the menopause is, what the symptoms of menopause are, and how we get through the menopause. So I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I became an acupuncturist about 25 years ago, but I've always been involved in health and fitness from the age of 18. An aerobic instructor who used to wear the leg warmers, and I don't know how old everyone is, but the leotards that used to be thongs. What were we thinking? Lordy. So I wore those, and that's where I started. So I was always interested in health, fitness, and supplementation. So for me, and I've battled with people about this, I've always said we need to supplement from way back. And I've always been on an omega-3, I've always been on a multivitamin, and I've always been on some sort of gut health thing. And I believe this because I just never thought our food was good enough, and I didn't think we could access that. Some 30 years later, it really has caught up now, and we're realizing that we have to supplement because our food is not good enough. Even if we try our best to eat as well as possible, our food is not good enough. So for me, that's what's led me here. And I also got involved with acupuncture because of endometriosis. First of all, it was a car accident, and then I had endometriosis. I was told I'd struggle to have children. I was told after this accident that I wouldn't be able to work. I was told I would be on medication forever. I was told I wouldn't be able to exercise again. These are very, very limiting beliefs and, wrong. And that was a medical doctor in Harley Street. And another doctor told me this as well. And they just kept putting me down with that, which was quite disheartening, really. But I have a fighting spirit. And I came round from that. And that's when I found acupuncture. And my journey for that kind of evolved. I think I found Zeta West, and when I was pregnant with my son, and that's when I started learning more and got more involved. It's almost like I became an acupuncturist, and then female health and women chose me, and that's when I went on that journey. But let's fast forward. I could bore you all to tears with my journey so far, but let's talk endometriosis. So I don't know if anyone suffers with that, but it is an inflammatory condition. Anything with a "s" at the end of it is an inflammatory disease or condition. Endometriosis, we've told, is genetic. Now, whilst it can be passed down generations, my belief isn't it isn't genetic as such. It's more mum was inflamed, grandma was inflamed. It is a condition of inflammation that's hereditary. Had we been looking after our diets like we're trying to learn about now, possibly that wouldn't have happened. If I'd known 25 years ago what I know now, possibly that wouldn't happen. But what my endometriosis led to is I had one of my very heavy periods, and then it turned out one of my tubes and my ovaries had to be removed, and that's where the operation was. To be honest, when the consult, because I was having such heavy periods and such difficult time, when the doctor said it to me, I was like, take it all. I want all the ovaries gone, all the ovaries, all two of them. Take it, I'm done. And he said to me, no, because you need your ovary, because you need your hormones. So I was like, fine, don't take it all. So he only took one and then had to separate from my bowel. But unfortunately for me, or fortunately, because actually it led me on a really interesting path, after my operation, I went into a medical menopause, which is basically once you've had anything removed, your body will just shut down. Now, when that happens, you are very quickly put into those symptoms, and the symptoms can be quite severe. And I'm not saying a natural menopause isn't severe, because it is, but this is my personal journey of it. And I was only 45. So that's quite early as well for a menopause. And it was, I had tried everything. When I kind of started going through this menopause, I went through to a nutritionist, as you can see. We did all the tests. Now, one of the tests was the omega-3. And she said to me, I came back depleted. And she said, right, you need to take this supplement, which probably cost about £55 a month. It was quite expensive, which I religiously took for 5 years. But I feel her fatal thing, she said, was, I don't need to retest you because I know this works. Well, it turned out it didn't work, because when I eventually found Zanzino, I was still depleted. My omega-3 was still low. And for somebody who has classically suffered with inflammatory conditions, pain from a car accident, so inflammation there, and then also my endometriosis, that's not great. I should have been retested, but I found that out. So again, all part of my journey. I must make sure I keep an eye on the time, because otherwise. Right, what is the menopause? The menopause is when a woman stops having periods and is no longer able to get pregnant naturally. It's defined as the final menstrual period and is confirmed when a woman has not had a period for 12 consecutive months. I believe this has now been stretched to 24 months, 2 years. I'm not sure whether that's doing us a service or a disservice, because by the time you've not had a period for a year, if you're one of us unfortunate ones that suffers, I don't think it matters if you have to wait for another year. You're actually in the menopause. That's just my opinion on that. These are some of the symptoms of menopause. Some of them are hardly spoken about, like the itchy, crawly skin, the anxiety, the clammy feelings, the facial hair. I mean, we all hear about the lack of focus and brain fog, poor concentration. I could go on. I can always, take a picture of that if you want, but these are just some of them. Lack of libido. Well, funny old one that, isn't it? Because I'm not sure whether it was just the menopause or just, unfortunately, the state of where my marriage was that I had lack of libido. But, who knows? I mean, I appear to have regained it. Is that my health or not being there anymore? Who knows? Anyway, I will go on to that later as well. So let me click on here. Okay, how do we get through the menopause? Fail to prepare to fail is absolutely the truth. I, working with women from the start of their periods until, well, Beth wanted to say until their menopause. And I was like, most of us are going to live 30 years past our menopause. What about us little old women? That's not fair. So I'm going to say from period to death. So if you can start someone off entering their periods, or from a little girl, making sure that everything is right, making sure their cellular health is right, making sure they're eating the things they should be eating, they're healthy, they sleep well, they get some exercise. If you can get them going into their periods healthy, then you've got them going into pregnancy healthy, then you've got them going into menopause healthy. So honestly, I would prepare as soon as you can for the menopause, because the sooner you prepare, the more likely you are to have a better menopause. So start preparing. Well, I say start preparing when you know it's going to happen. Start preparing well before. As soon as you get this knowledge, as soon as you realize good health makes a difference, that's when you prepare. If you prepare well for pregnancy, you're laying down good foundations. Our hormonal systems need to work together for balanced equilibrium to create wellness and optimal function. That is me. That is me on that wall. I did that. So these things are within our control. And this is when I talk about when you hear people saying, oh, it's the menopause, well, it's my age, well, it's this, well, it's that. We have given up so much control to pharmaceuticals, to food industry, to the social controls of social media, to TV, to looking at, I mean, it's not long ago, you used to have those postcards with the big old mother-in-law who was a miserable person. Now, we need to take that back. We can be young, vibrant women way into our 80s if we want to be. You know, having seen Paul Clayton at the weekend, who's in his 70s, I don't see why not. We just have to look after ourselves, and we can do it with nutrition, especially omega-3, and we'll come on to that. But back to cellular health, back to reducing inflammation in the body. And magnesium. Magnesium is vital. Then we have sleep. Please, please, please. I know you're going to be suffering with lack of sleep or insomnia because of what's going on. We need to counter that, and we need to get you at least 7 hours if possible. Exercise, especially weight bearing. And, you know, if you can maybe do just 1 class a week, 2 classes a week, do something like lunges or things like that, that would be perfect. Reduce your stress. Stress, again, is one of the big no's when you're going through menopause and perimenopause. But guess what? That's the time we're at our most stressed. Yay! Because that's the time when you look at it, you've got aging parents, young children, or teenage children. Yay! And then a lot of us are trying to build our business because what we've done, or we're still in the workplace because we've had our children, they're kind of getting older so we can get back into stuff. And then we're juggling 3 or 4 things. Best will in the world, and I know there's some lovely men out there that help. Most women carry the hidden load of the house. I have yet to meet a man who looks at a toilet roll and goes, oh, that's going to need changing. Is there one in the cupboard? Oh, there's not one in the cupboard. Is there one there? No, I better put that on the shopping list. That is the hidden load that women are thinking 3 or 4 steps ahead constantly. So we have that on our mind, and that is the sort of stress that we don't even realize is happening, that we are constantly thinking, planning and sorting. That has to be relaxed somehow and reduced, even if you just do 10 minutes yoga a day, which incidentally is my new thing, because I thought I couldn't do it, and I've been told I have to put stretching into my life now. So I've found this thing to do 10 minutes every morning. And you can do it. I can do it. It's prioritizing. You have to prioritize your health. I am just as guilty as others. I'm not going to sit here and preach in any way whatsoever, because I can be a nightmare. Go to the physio and they say, do these exercises. And then you go, yep, absolutely. I'll do that. A week later, supposed to do some exercises. I wonder where that is. You have to build the habits. You have to get it in, because otherwise you're going to suffer. Stabilize your circadian rhythms. Reduce alcohol, caffeine, and smoking. Smoking really is a no. It's just not great in any way, shape, or form. Alcohol, I know people still enjoy some alcohol, so just be clever with your alcohol. You want a gin and tonic is going to be better than sugar-laden wine. Personally, it increases hot flushes if I have it, so I know it's having an insulin effect on me. Each person will, some people will be able to drink merrily and not have a problem. So I mean this with absolute love. However, some of you will not want to change. Some of you will believe cost is prohibitive. It is not. It is priorities that are prohibitive. Years ago, a very, very wise teacher of mine said to me, if somebody comes for acupuncture and says they can't afford it, give them 5 minutes and ask them how many holidays. And I can guarantee you that generally the people that said they couldn't afford it went on at least 2 holidays. Some people genuinely are going to struggle to afford some things, but it's priorities. Sometimes people will have to not go out for that 1 meal a week so they can buy stuff to help them. If you can buy a new pair of shoes, you can put your health first. And I hope that doesn't upset anyone, but we have to think, where do we want to get better? Because your shoes are not going to look great if you're sat in a chair because you're in so much pain or you're in such a state that you can't wear them. The only thing you should be thinking about is your health and how you can make your health better and how you can have healthy longevity, how you can live to a ripe old age in health, not supported by masses of medication and not in good health. Some of you do not believe that you can and will feel better. I can vouch for that one. That's why I put it in there. When I got overtaken with my symptoms, there were literally days, and anyone that knows me now from the Zanzino world, you met me when I was 4 or 5 years into my menopause. And I spent about 6 months saying I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't carry on with work. Beth couldn't believe it. She'd known me as this kind of powerful, strong woman who could do anything. And there I was saying, I'm going to retire. I'm getting too old to do this. And it is all encompassing. And I implore anybody working with menopause people, please, when they tell you this, they are truly feeling and believing it. And that's really hard to work with. Somehow you need to, I don't know, reach to them so they know you understand and know that you'll hold their hand while you pull them out of this and say to them, you will be there, because they truly don't believe they can feel any better than they feel. And that's hormonal and nutritional. And we can help them. We can guide them and we can get them better. And that, to me, is the gift. And that's what I love. And that's what excites me. I've moved from treating fertility and babies, and I love the new babies, and I love all the fertility stuff, and I love helping people in that way. But I've handed that baton over to my daughter now, who is incredible at that, because she's done extra training, and obviously she's trained with me for years. And now I'm looking to help this beautiful group of women who feel they're washed up. They are not washed up. And it upsets me that women think they are. We are beautiful and powerful. We just do not really realize our potential to be the best we can be. I'm going to kind of mention someone on this group, and obviously Shivvy, who is beautiful, but I'm going to mention Ruth. And any of you that know Ruth know she's been on a journey. And I saw her yesterday and I was like, wow, is that girl shining? She has taken charge. She has taken control, and she is doing what she tells people to do. And it's inspirational. So if any of you get the chance to speak to Ruth, honestly, it's incredible. She looks incredible, and she has done that. So we can do it. You just have to believe you can do it. So what we need to do is we need to, if possible, we need to get on an anti-inflammatory diet, which is traditionally the Mediterranean diet. Consider an anti-inflammatory marker test. Obviously, I'm going to say the Zanzino blood test, because I think it's brilliant, and it goes to Vitas Labs, and it's double blind. We can talk to you about the products, and anybody that put you on the call could talk to you about that. But it's really important to get the 6:3 ratio. It's important to understand your omega-3 index. You need to be above 8%. That's not this is something I'd like to be. This is not magical. This is not, oh my God, a new fad, a new gimmick. Human beings were evolved and developed to have a balanced 6:3 ratio. We were supposed to eat these foods that kept that way. This is how we evolved. It's only in the last 100 years that this has gone to pot with processed food and modern lifestyles. So please don't think anybody talking about this is like, oh, this is the new thing. It's not the new thing. I've been talking about it for 30 years. It's just becoming more prominent. And there have been people selling omega-3 products that just don't work. But then you're going to get that in every single industry. So we're not going to worry about that. What we're going to do is say to people, we have something here that is brilliant. We have something that can help you. And we have things that can balance your blood sugar levels. But we can do this with the Mediterranean diet as well. Supplement your diet with vitamin C. That shouldn't be B5. Anyway, B vitamins, that should be omega-3 and magnesium. And we have to get rid of senescent cells in our body. As we get older, our cells that die which are called zombie cells as well. You'll hear senescent or zombie. Our body cannot get rid of them as well as we used to be able to when we were younger. So we need help as we get older. It's a bit like as a car gets older, you know, it's just like that. As we get older, not efficient, we're not. It's when people say to me, oh, I get so much more hungover now, because our livers are older, because we struggle to get rid of stuff more, and you've got toxins and you've got more hormones that need to go. So we need to be clever at getting rid of senescent cells, which we are going to do. Now, Frank Lipman, I wanted to talk about a different doctor as well. So Frank Lipman, managing menopause with omega-3 supplements has been shown to reduce hot flushes as well as the mild depressive symptoms that can sometimes accompany menopause. I do have the 2 studies he's talking about. Not only do the supplements have an anti-inflammatory effect, but they may regulate sex hormone levels. And I don't mean about having sex. I mean literally the hormone levels that we do. I mean, it might make you want to have more sex. It's up to you. And then we've got Dr. Colin, who is the senior advisor on I can't remember his full title, Inzenzino. The menopause is defined by 34 common symptoms. I think there's more than that, 14 of which are directly correlated with inflammatory status. So if you think about it, 14 of the symptoms are directly related to inflammation. So all we need to do is reduce our inflammation and our menopause will be better. We're not getting told this. It's not common knowledge. I think, I haven't completely read Davina's book, and I do keep an eye on it. There is, if you read the proper texts and books, it's in there, but I don't think it's been common knowledge. As such, I would suggest taking the balance oil can help ease these symptoms. But do remember, omega-3 is not medicinal, is more active in the preservation of optimal cellular status. So basically what he's saying in a very long sentence there is, it's not just omega-3, but if you have a good cell, if every one of your cells in your body is working properly and doing absolutely what it needs to be, your cell membrane's perfect, so nutrients can get in, toxins can get out. As we get older, we want all the help we can get. We want to make sure those nutrients are getting in. So any supplement we take actually gets into our body, because there's no point taking 20 ton of supplements. And when we're told to take collagen, we're told to take protein. There's no point taking all these supplements if your cells can't accept the nutrients. So your first port of call is your omega-6/3 balance and your omega-3 index, as well as, I would say, getting your gut right. Your gut is huge on this. I think I mentioned it later, but I'm going to mention it now as well. So when you, if you get constipated, and if you're producing too much estrogen and you're trying to excrete it, if you get constipated and it gets stuck in your bowel, the estrogen can then seep back into your body, and this is when estrogen dominance can happen. So you have to be very, very careful to make sure you have regular bowel movements, because constipation and not having daily bowel movements is actually very detrimental to your health. As such, taking it daily has a longer term effect and influence on our health, rather than taking it to fix a certain problem, which is absolutely correct. You don't go, I've got hot flushes, I'm going to take omega-3. You go, I'm going to take omega-3 to help my overall health, and go figure, some of my symptoms are going to decrease. Balancing blood sugar levels. So the menopause creates a challenge for managing blood sugar levels due to the hormonal shifts that go along with this transition. So for me, example, I will not eat between meals because I don't want insulin spikes and I don't want blood sugar spikes. And I will make sure I have protein with every meal. I would never eat anything without a protein fat coat on it. So if somebody says to me, I've had a banana, I'd be like, yeah, that's great. That's not a bad choice of a snack, but there's no protein and fat. So it could spike your blood sugar. And then when you spike your blood sugar, and you've got your insulin up here, so basically you've got insulin and then you've got adrenaline and cortisol. These two are controlling all the hormones below. So you mess with insulin and you're messing with all the hormones beneath it. And that is a problem in menopause, because our hormones are already a bit all over the place. And you could have estrogen dominance, you could have progesterone depletion. They are different things, which is, again, another weird one. So your blood sugar, your food, how you're spiking it. If you just remember one thing, a protein fat overcoat. So if I had a banana, I would have a handful of walnuts. I would never have fruit on its own. Years ago, they used to do, there was one of the diet things, used to say, have a bit of apple with peanut butter on it. They've known for years about this. And some of the, I'm not going to name any of them, some of the places you go to where you get weighed in each week, unfortunately, don't promote a balanced meal and it being completely healthy. The only thing I want to say about that is it's a business. And if you lose lots of weight and never come back because you've overcome your mental issues to being overweight, you are always going to be overweight, and it's a business. There's far more to it. And if you're not supplementing properly, so if you're having sugar cravings, then you've got magnesium deficiency. So if you're not making sure every nutrient gets in your body, menopausal or not, you're going to be having all these cravings and you're not going to be able to control what you eat. Another thing I'll say is I want us to take guilt off the table, because a lot of the foods that are around now are purposely addictive. There is literally a team of people in a room trying to work out what level of chemical causes the most addiction. So don't beat yourself up. Just be aware of these foods and try and take them off the table. Take them out your house, because you're going to want more and you're going to think, oh, I'm so weak, I can't stop eating that. You're not weak. They're designed that way. There's literally scientists making them that way. So what you need to do is be very aware of these different foods. Okay, if not handled correctly, this shift can increase the risk of blood sugar issues, which can increase the risk of developing Alzheimer's disease, diabetes, complications, and more. So it's not just you are what you eat, you are what you absorb, how important food is. I've lost count of the people who say to me, oh, you're so healthy, you're so boring. I can't understand why being healthy is an insult. I mean, can you imagine if I turn around to them and went, you're so unhealthy, you're so boring, I don't want to hang out with you. But that's what you get. You try and bring health into it. I actually want to kind of start a new club, where only healthy people are there, because we're fun. And don't get me wrong, you're going to see a slide later on. I had fun. It's just, I value my health. I value the fact that, I want to be healthy in my longevity. I want to be a fit, healthy grandma. All of these things. And this is how we do it. This is how we take control. There's a list there of the top 12 foods that balance blood sugar. Again, we can go into, I'm keeping an eye on the time because I'm a nightmare. We can go more and more into that. So supplement your diet. You need to support a functioning cellular environment, normalize the aging process, repair and restore, out with the old, in with the new. This particular product I'm talking about is Xenogene. Now, Xenogene is really for age of 35 and upwards. It is a fantastic product. The science behind it is incredible. I'm not going to go massively into that. We have got videos on that. We can tell you all about if you're interested. But if you're menopausal, I personally, in my clinic, say to women, you need to be on what we call the full health protocol, which is the balance oil, the xenobiotic, the extend multivitamin, and the Xenogene. Really vitamin D, but check your levels. But we can test everything. Test your blood sugar, test your vitamin D, test your omega-3, and then you'll know, and then retest. But you know what? You're going to feel better anyway. But this is an incredible product for us oldies. Hey, I'm not old. For us youngies. And what this product can do, and again, I could pull all that up, but I'm just going to do this bit, is eradicate the degraded cells, promote cell division, transportation of cells, promote the production of fully functioning cells. And that's what happens. I don't know how many of you on here are to do work with skin, but if you're working with skin, you are not going to get the results in skin without fixing inside. It's just not going to happen. Chinese medicine. The skin is your third lung. whenever whenever you get new acupuncturists coming up, we're treating them, we call it heat in the body, which is, transpires as inflammation. Heat goes out of the skin. That's what we treat. Heat going out of the skin, eczema, psoriasis, rosacea, any of these things. And the condition of the skin. You want plump, gorgeous cells, and you're going to get that if you feed your body in the right way, but you're not going to get it if you're not giving your body the nutrition it wants. Back to my one, I've been saying this for years, you would not put diesel in a petrol car. Our bodies need good nutrition. Some of the foods nowadays, if we ate a leaf, we could actually digest that because they've been around thousands of years. If food that you eat hasn't been around for, I was going to say 100 years, but I'm going to say 120, 130 years, your body doesn't know what it is, so it can't digest it, it can't absorb it. So we're going into old age, we're going into menopause with all these issues. One of the things I will say about the menopause as well is we were actually supposed to die, which is a bit upsetting, but we weren't meant to live to this age. So the fact that we're living older means we need to support ourselves more, because if people are saying, oh, people used to be fine in the menopause, no, they didn't live to the menopause. We had children at 18 and we died 35, 40. That's how it used to be. Bit grim, wasn't it? Decline in ovaries. So estrogen levels decline during perimenopause, yet its primary function is to promote the growth and health of female organs. Literally make them moist and stretchy. Sorry for using the word moist, but Adrenaline. Low adrenaline function is one of the most important underlying causes of menopausal symptoms. Reducing the stress will reduce menopausal symptoms of fatigue, insomnia, and cravings. Our adrenaline levels and our cortisol levels cause massive issues. Cortisol neutralizes inflammation, as does omega-3. So the release of cortisol can reduce it, but we can reduce it with omega-3. We don't need to get our bodies into that state. Progesterone and testosterone also deplete, leading to insomnia, fatigue, and low sex drive. Insulin, too high levels, create more testosterone and thus can cause facial hair and acne, which we don't want to go back into, especially we had it as children. Stressors, poor diet, sleep, environmental toxins also cause our hormones to yo-yo, which impacts how we physically and emotionally respond to stress, heightening feelings of depression, anxiety, isolation, and being overwhelmed. It is incredibly hard when you're in the throes of menopause to pull yourself out of some of this depression, this anxiety. Don't underestimate the power of when these hormones go south. It's really difficult. I am going to speak briefly about HRT. It's up to you whether you want to do it or whether you don't. I have no strong opinions either side. I think it's a completely a woman's prerogative. The only thing I'll say is don't just do HRT and medical interventions. You must take charge yourself. You must look after your diet. You must look after any supplementation you need. You must look after your lifestyle. If you've tried all self-help approaches explored above without any significant changes in your symptoms, it may be time to get support from a doctor or through a specialist menopause clinic. You may need to get the Dutch test to measure your hormone levels, although it's difficult with estrogen and progesterone because it changes on a daily basis. Those blood tests aren't as good. The testosterone test is a good test. That's a good test to have because low testosterone causes a lot of problems. You've got people like Dr. Louise Newson, menopause doctor, the Meno Charity, the Balanced Menopause app. There's many menopause ways, medical menopause ways you can go. You've got someone in America called Dr. Christiane Northrup. She's got a very natural approach. There are other natural approaches in this country. I just haven't connected with them yet. And if people have, I would love to hear about it. A lot of women are given estrogel, which is just a gel that's wiped on you. And these are the most natural forms, prescription ones. And then you get the progesterone, which is the progesterone capsule. You need progesterone if you're taking estrogen because you don't want your lining getting too thick and you don't want having any problems with the lining of your uterus. Vagifem, lovely named Vagifem. I mean, could they have thought of a better name? They've also done something really interesting. So Vagifem is the one you get on prescription, which is the pessary you put inside your vagina. Then you've got the Gina, which they've called it. It's not Gina, it's Gina, but nobody's saying Gina. So Gina is the new over-the-counter estrogen pessary. It's Gina. It's got a bit. Who names these things? Vagifem, and they could have thought of something nicer. And then you've got your androfem testosterone. Now I've put down there at the bottom the tests. I don't know how to go backwards. Oh, there you go. So you get your serum testosterone, and then you get your serum sex hormone binding globulin blood test. Ask your doctor for those. If they say they can't do them, they can. And there is an issue with testosterone in this country. If you want a particular testosterone, you can't get it. You have to get it over from Australia, and you have to pay it, and it's £100 a tube. You can't get it on the prescription. You can get it prescribed by the doctor, but you can't get it on, the NHS. You can't get that. So these are forms of HRT. I will happily talk to anyone about these, but obviously you need to go to your doctor, because this isn't my field of speciality, but I have used and do use. But what I've noticed is the more I've got my world in balance, the less of that I need. Okay. In summary, so the overwhelming message regarding the menopause is to look after your body, mind, and spirit, and make sure it's not depleted or deficient. Back to Chinese medicine, if you've got what we call, as you get older, you get kidney yin deficiency. So with this, your kidney energy is declining, which is your life force energy is declining. So we need to look after it. I forget that I'm not in my 20s sometimes, and I do too much. And you'll see the signs. We do need to do less, and we do need to make sure we're looking after ourselves. I do sound baths. I have regular treatments of either kind of healing, Reiki, Bowen, physio. I will have different treatments. Acupuncture. How did I forget that? I'll have different treatments to make sure my body's in the best state it can be. Yes, I had acupuncture for my menopause. Yes, I believe it helped it completely. Some of the symptoms, yes. I've chosen to manage mine in a certain way. Our bodies are doing the best, but we really need to support them in every way we can. Now, the menopause can, for some, feel really stressful, but let's not be too negative. We can look at this phase as a positive transformation experience. This should be a time to pause, recalibrate, and evaluate life, to reflect on stress triggers we have some control over, including careers, relationships, health, and well-being. I know as women, as we get older, we get stronger. I'm going to say it, we take less shit. We don't care as much. We're like, do you know what? I can do more. And so use that power and go, I am going to really get reflective. I'm going to look at myself, and I'm going to work out what is best for me and my health and how I can best serve. Because you're not going to be great for anybody if you're not looking after yourself. And menopause does not have to be debilitating. I personally take and recommend to all menopausal patients to improve nutrition, exercise, sleep, reduce stress, and take the Zanzino health protocol, because it works. I'm a testament to it. It works. I use it, and I've taken supplements for over 30 years. I have never had a supplementation company in my clinic before. So I am saying that with great authority, that I would not have done that if I didn't truly believe it and truly try every single one of the products. And I mean every single one of the products. I mean, I'm a bit of I love taking stuff. So, you know, I'm a bit different to most people. I'll probably take 12 tablets a day. But, and this is a big but, we can have fun. So balance is important. This was actually me and my friend at a balance festival for health and wellness. And we had a couple of drinks the night before. And unfortunately, this was the state of us afterwards. I don't actually drink that much anymore. So I don't need to drink much to end up on a bench in a health and fitness thingy. So we have to have balance, because if you don't laugh, I don't know if anybody saw the pictures of me and Shivvy on Instagram where we belly laughed about the way I held the cup. I'll tell you the story one time, but we couldn't stop laughing. The healing power of that is incredible. So have fun too. And it doesn't have to be with alcohol. You don't have to drink. You can have loads of fun without drinking. We were stone cold sober when we were being silly. So remember balance. Remember, don't just think, oh my God, I have to eat well, I have to sleep well, I have to do this, I have to do that. Have some fun as well. Have lots of fun. Fun is good. Here is a testimonial, she says, going back off it because my finger went crazy. of someone. And I had another testimonial. Before I read that one, there was a testimonial of a lady who I met at an event yesterday, and she said since she's taken the Zinzino, her menopause, she hasn't had any brain fog. It's completely gone, and she's only been on it 4 months since taking the balance oil, which I thought was incredible. So here's this one. So before I started on the health protocol, I also take Xenogene. This isn't me, by the way. I'm menopausal, but I don't take HRT. I had a rash on the front and back of my torso, repeated eye styes, infections, one leading to a lump, which had to be removed, then got shingles in my eye, bladder infection, was thinking of giving up massage due to the pain in my wrists, had frozen shoulder, hot flushes, and hardly slept the night. 4 months down the line, it's all gone, and I've lost 7 pounds in weight, as I don't feel hungry and sugar craving are now stopped completely. It's funny, as I thought I was feeling fine before and doing well. You don't know what you don't know. And it would be really nice to sometimes transport into, was that you, Ali? You can come on in a minute. It'd be really nice to, at least we've got the person who said that here. So with that lady yesterday and all the women I treat, it would be really, really nice just to spread the word, let people know that we can help them. I mean, how amazing is that? We can help other women. And so we come on to this. Menopause is thicker than water. When we talk about it, we learn and relax. It is a life transition, not a disease. And I think that's what we need to remember. It's very much like, oh, I've got the menopause. No, it's like, I've got the menopause. I'm going to beat that menopause. That menopause doesn't beat me. And you don't have to let it. Anyway. Oh, and there we go. That's good. And time for questions. Come on.
Thank you so much, Jackie. That was fantastic.